What is up, y'all? Man, it is good to see you all today. All right. And then we got who we got here in the house? We got Melody.
Hey,
Melody
yo.
here. And then we gotta add one more person here. We gotta add Jessa. Jessa, can we flip your camera around? Because we have to get that aspect ratio right. You know what I'm saying? We want the wide angle. You know what I'm saying? Can you do that?
You could lay down. Maybe lay down across it like this.
Are you on your phone or There we go. Just turn on the rotation on your device and then flip it around.
Hold up.
That's all you gotta do.
I think you look good though. The lighting's really great. Your hair's awesome.
I agree. I think she looks phenomenal.
Oh, thank
hey
you.
Guys, here's the secret. That's my girlfriend. I got her to date me. I don't know how, but yeah, there we go.
Okay, how's that?
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay.
All right, we like that. All right, cool. What's up, Melody? What's up, Catherine?
Hey.
I hope more people trickle in here. We want more people to come. What's up, Juan, brother? What's up, Juan? Brother Juan. We want to say hi to you. And remember, like always, we are doing a raffle for those who want to come in. Let us know you're here. Put your name in the chat. Maybe we'll type that in the chat here in a second. Just tell us your name, or say tell us.
Might stop around here.
Tell us your name and let us know you are here.
I'm gonna get some fill light here.
There we go. Tell us your name. Let us know you're here. Because here's the deal: we gotta get y'all. We gotta get people in here so that they can be part of the raffle, and we can get $10 gift card to somewhere.
That's right.
So with that being said, I got people here. We're gonna get the game started as people start to trickle in, and then we'll dive into the discussion. And for you guys, Jessa and Mike, if you guys want to stay and be a part of the discussion, you're more than welcome to. If you want me to monologue, I can always do that. I can't. I'm easy, but I also like a little bit of discussion. So I'm free to kind of make it work however you guys want it. But also we have some folks on Facebook that might be watching as well, because we're doing both Facebook and YouTube today. So Mike just disappeared and we lost 2 viewers at the same time. So we see where people's allegiances lie. I get it. That is just how that goes.
All right, I'm back.
That was
Mike
Right.
disappears and we lose 2 viewers. That's how. That's what happens.
Those guys love me.
People's allegiances lie solely to Mike. Okay,
Mike.
so today we are playing a little bit of this or that. How many of you guys have you guys played this game before? If you have, let us know. This should be a pretty easy game. All this game has to do with we're just trying to figure out which item is more expensive. Simple as that.
Okay, I feel like I could nail this.
You feel like you can nail this? You do a lot of shopping?
Oh, all the time.
We're gonna talk about that because if we get married, we're gonna have to talk about that. You know,
You
the
already
shopping
know I'm
habits.
I'm cheaper than you.
Yeah, you really are. You really are. She's actually much better than me at managing money. But yeah, here we go. Uh-oh.
All right.
Okay, this or that. Which one is more expensive? Treehouse style. All right. So is it going to be
Okay.
That hat.
this Vans weird looking hat that I don't know anybody? You know what? This looks like a Mike hat.
Whatever.
It does look like a Mike hat.
This looks like a Mike.
That looks like a hot dog vendor hat.
That looks like something Mike would wear. We know Mike and his hats. We know how he rolls.
Yeah, matches your last one, Mike.
All right, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
have a package of Big Pens. What's up, Eddie Torres? Eddie Torres, what's up, brother?
What's up, Eddie?
What's up?
I don't know.
What's up?
I
All
would
right.
not pay for that hat.
Hmm.
So anything above free is unless
So
I'm
question
sponsored by
is,
a band.
is it this or that? I'm gonna hide this actually.
Yeah, put in the chat this
Is
or
it
that.
is it the hat or is it the pens? Which one is more expensive?
I'm gonna go with the pens
The pens. One says the pens.
They're worth more for sure.
for sure.
I'm gonna go with that ugly hat. I think.
All right. Now, you guys remember, every correct answer you get, it'll give you another opportunity to enter into that raffle. So
Juan's going for the pens.
Juan's going for the pen. See if anybody else kind of wants to go in.
Juan's winning the game so far.
Yeah, Juan's winning. I'm gonna go with the hat. I'm gonna go with the hat because I don't understand the fashion world, and I've seen some crazy things be like considered expensive in the fashion world that I don't understand. Like I don't understand Yeezys. I don't understand how that works. All right, give like 4 more, 5 more
Melody's
seconds,
in.
and we'll wait.
Pens.
All right,
It just looks like a hat from the dollar store. I just
here we go. Moving on.
Spins.
It is the hat for $30. I told y'all.
Oh man.
Fashion doesn't make sense. I'm telling y'all, fashion doesn't make sense.
fashion doesn't make sense.
Like you just have to just come to grips with that. Fashion doesn't make sense.
Hey, you know what? Somebody would wear that hat that we know, and they'd look really good in it, and we'd be
All
like,
right.
"Man, cannot pull that off."
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, we got a lovely photo of Queen Bee for this. And then for that, we got I'm looking correctly on the wrong thing. We got a strange looking rocking chair.
Space rocking chair.
I think when it comes to function, I'd probably rather have the chair.
That's right.
I mean, Queen Bee, she's great, but she doesn't really give me a good night's sleep or not night's sleep, but a good napping spot.
That's right.
So what do you guys guesses? Queen Bee, this or that with the chair?
I'm gonna go with the painting.
All you guys gotta say, type in the chat. You just gotta type this or that. That's all you gotta
This
type.
or that. I wonder why she's
This.
crying.
This.
I'm gonna go with that space chair. Melody's
the painting.
Just because
Juan's
celebrities
got
can.
the chair.
He said the rocking
anything,
chair,
even
painting,
for
rocking chair. All right, here we go.
All right. This or that. Wonder how much they cost though.
It is that the rocking chair.
Oh, how much was it?
It doesn't tell us how much it costs. We want to know how much it. Come on,
Oh
game.
man.
They played us. We got
They
played.
did.
All right, here we go. Last one. These odd-looking sunglasses.
Oakley's, man. Look at that. Like baseball glasses or something. Or
Dude,
Bar-
no, okay. First of all,
Barney
Barney
costume.
suit has to hands down be the most expensive thing.
Barney.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if that Barney suit was worth less money. I mean, you look how much like detail
I know.
like on the
Yeah.
Barney suit. That's a legit. That's got to be more expensive.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm
going with that too. I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
that. Looks like we have Juan going with that. Juan is on the that train. Anybody
Yeah.
else on the that train? I wonder if Melody's gonna be on the that train. Anybody else? Who's on the that train?
That.
That Melody's on the that train. Yep, Juan's on the Barney train. Okay, here we go.
Spin it. And
Yeah,
it's
it
that.
Had to be.
Why didn't they give us the prices anymore?
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, maybe
I
we'll do
wanna
one.
know.
We'll do one more. We'll do one.
Oh.
Oh, snap. Elvis Presley's hair. Y'all
Oh
don't.
my god.
Okay. You gotta know who Elvis Presley is. If you knew who Elvis Presley was, if you're old enough to know who Elvis Presley was, you would, and you know anything about Elvis Presley, you would know you should not want his hair.
Someone's gonna clone him.
It is probably
Okay,
disgusting.
what's the that?
All right, sorry. So we're waiting on that. Oh, a boat. Look at that. It's like a little speed land boat or something like that.
Yeah, it's like looks like a. What is that thing?
I don't know. Melody knows. Okay, either Melody says she knows who Elvis Presley is, or she wants his hair. One of the two.
Gross.
Either way, I'm shocked. Either way, I'm absolutely shocked. Okay, Juan's going for the boat. Or the boat.
I think that Elvis hair is probably worth some
I'm gonna
money.
go with the hair. I'm gonna go with the hair.
Yeah,
That's so gross.
I mean, he is no longer around, and so if you're gonna get some of Elvis Presley's hair, you'd probably have to go grave robbing at this point.
Yeah.
So,
You think it's his chest hair or it's like head hair?
I hope it's head hair. I hope it's head hair. I'm glad it's plastic sealed.
Yeah.
I really hope that no one tries to open it. Oh, she knows him. Okay, she doesn't want the hair. Melody doesn't want the hair. She's going with this. All right, here we go. And Juan went with that. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
It was this.
sure wish we knew
Elvis
what the
Presley's
price
hair. Now, it doesn't tell me the price. All I want to know is just how much it costs. That's so hard to ask.
That's right.
Is how much the hair costs. Because, all right, so if we're going back the opposite way, Barney's. Okay, so Juan got the last one wrong. Melody got the last one right. So between Juan and Melody, I think Melody, she said depends on the first one, and it was okay. Anybody say the rocking chair? Yeah, Juan said the rocking chair. Ooh, it might be a tie game.
Yeah,
between
both. We'll send them both some
Yeah.
goodies.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
And the cool part is now that we can actually meet with you guys.
Yes.
So
Mike, you want to explain that a little bit? What that's looking like?
yeah, we have opened up our phase 1 of meeting back in person, which is one-on-one hanging out with your old staff members, which is pretty cool. And so we'll be reaching out for one-on-ones or 2-on-1s or whatever. And as always, it'll include some kind of goodie or something to do outside or whatever, like something like that. The only thing we will need though will be a parent signature and liability release. But how much is Jimmy's hair? So it's gonna be sweet though.
How much is my hair?
Yeah.
Is that a question?
We'll get a picture and we could have Elvis's hair or Jimmy's hair.
I feel like my hair is invaluable. Right.
Yes, I second that.
Right, because
Especially
not
your
just
hair.
everybody can have my hair. Like there's
That's
a
right.
limit. There's a limited amount of hair that I have. So for that reason, I would say my hair is in.
At least it'll grow back. Elvis is done.
We lost Jessa. Come back.
We didn't mean what we said.
We didn't mean it. It was just a joke. It was just a joke about my hair. Come back. Oh, there she goes.
Yep. Well, so James, how are you feeling about being able to connect with students again?
Man, I'm excited. I think that, playing video games, I love as much as I love playing video games. And FaceTiming and all that stuff like that. I think, I like my favorite part of one-to-ones is like going to the gym, playing some basketball.
Yep.
I love whooping you guys in one-on-one games. So I think T played some chess with me. So I'd love to get back to, whooping Trenton in some chess in a chess game.
I'm terrible at chess.
Well, maybe
I should play that.
Maybe some checkers, man. That'd be good. Okay, we got her back. She's back. She's back on the Steam. Okay.
I'm doing it on my phone, and I got a phone call.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you two do the talk together. How's that sound? I'll be just here for some moral support if you need me.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. Peace.
Peace. Well, what's up, lady friend? Can you hear me?
What's up? How you doing?
I am well. I hope you guys can hear the music. Can you hear the music?
I can't hear the music.
Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit. Can you hear it now?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you guys weren't here on Tuesday, Tuesday I had a little bit of a heart-to-heart with me and the internet. I don't know. I think the internet probably won the heart-to-heart if it's a competition because it has much more heart than I do. But we had a heart-to-heart on YouTube, and I shared a little bit about just some stuff that I've been going through, some personal feelings, some despair I was feeling, some hopelessness I was feeling. And what are some of the things that brought me out of that hope? So if you weren't here, I had gotten some terrible news over last weekend, and more than just one area of my life. And so through it all, one of the things that really helped me walk through that. Oh, Melody, you listened? You heard my little thing? Well, thank you for listening to my little YouTube thing. I didn't see you there on Mondays or Tuesday, so I'm glad you at least got to listen to hear a little bit of it. But one of the things that was there to kind of bring me hope, as a recap, was community with people. And so today I kind of want to talk a little bit about like how to do that like effectively, how I do that, and maybe Jessica can share a little bit about like how she does that and how we can collab a little bit about like what makes like doing community with people like really good, and then what makes it pretty bad. So if I could find my notes from there, it is. Okay, so I have my notes from Tuesday. So just a quick recap of Tuesday. Despair is the feeling you get when you really can't see a way out. This is my little quick definition. Those are not the Webster's definition, but these are my definitions. It's just a moment where you can't see a way out of your situation. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then how I got out of that space was through a genuine life-giving community. I'll explain what that looks like. But for me to have that life-giving community and for me to engage in community in the best way possible, I had to have self-awareness, right? I had to have self-awareness, and it required the self-awareness of the people I was engaging with to be able to get to a point where we can have comfortable conversation. Now, the conversation I'm referring to is conversations regarding like George Floyd and racism and things like that. Those are hard conversations to have with people. And I want to hear from you guys. Maybe say just holler back in the chat if you have had like a really difficult conversation with somebody these last couple weeks surrounding the events of like George Floyd and police brutality and racism and things like that. If you've had a tough conversation about it, I'd love to just hear about it in the chat. But while that's happening, in the meantime, I want to ask. I've seen Jessa. I want to ask Jessa a couple questions because I've seen you, Jessa. I've seen you on Facebook, and you've been pretty active on social media and responding to some of the craziness we see on social media, some of the wild posts that people are putting, and you've been responding. You've been making posts yourself and things like that. So I kind of want to ask you how that journey has been. What have you found has been effective for you in your journey of having conversations with people on social media, and what hasn't been? Hello? Oh, you're kind of quiet. I'm having trouble hearing you. Maybe I'm gonna turn my music down. Turn the music down a little bit. You sound a little bit crackly, but technology.
If I just hold my phone, that might be better. How's that?
Yeah, that's
better?
kind of better. It's still a little bit crackly. I don't know what's going on with your microphone, or sounds like something's being crunched.
My computer's dead. That's why I had to do it with my.
Gotcha. Is your phone plugged in?
But I will quick response.
Okay. Well, I can barely hear you. That's the thing. We are in trouble hearing you. So if you want to respond, we may not hear it all. Okay. While she's figuring that out, can I ask Mike? Mike, can you come in? Can we have you jump in for a second?
Hey.
Yeah. I want to ask you kind of this similar question. Like, have you been at all active on social media recently and regarding things, talking about things about racism and George Floyd? Have you had any crucial conversations with people? What have those conversations been like, and what's been good for you and what's been bad for you?
That's a great question. I have had conversations, and I'm generally a table builder. That means, I'd love to build big tables for lots of people to be involved, and lots of seats and people from differing opinions. They don't bother me. In fact, I like when people have differing opinions but feel included. For me, though, the incidents of Ahmaud and then Brother Floyd has been more over the top and explicit that it felt to me like, even though I want to build a big table, some folks didn't want other people to be at that table, which in my mind, I'm like, I'm building the table. I'm inviting you because God first invited me.
Yeah.
Your attitudes can't exclude other people to my table.
Yeah.
And so I have asked folks to behave themselves in certain contexts, and they simply couldn't. They were frustrated largely with me. I'm glad they took it out on me instead of other folks. And it was because they wanted me to be on a side, like to choose one side and in exclusion to the other side, which I just can't do. And like for me, again, I'm like, this was so over the top, explicitly racist that you have to come out and say, this is wrong. Racism is still prevalent today, and we need the help of Jesus and his gospel of grace to help us to reconcile not only internally what we're feeling, but externally the actions of what we're feeling.
Yeah.
And so,
can I pause you for a second? I want to ask you a question, and then we can circle back to your finishing statement. You said Brother Floyd, right?
Yeah.
What makes him your brother? Like, why do people use? I've heard, we've heard people use terminology like that, refer to familial ties to people that maybe aren't in their immediate family. Why
That's right.
do we call him Brother Floyd? For kids that are listening.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I've been very intentional, specifically over the past 5 or 6 years of, and I learned this from Sammy Watkins. So if Sammy, you're out there listening at some point, he always calls people brother and sister. And so George Floyd had a couple things that helped me identify him as a brother. Number one, he has professed faith in Jesus. And there'll be a whole long list of things that he done that people will be like, Christians don't do this stuff. And just throw that all out. He professed the name of Jesus Christ, and that makes him my brother. So when we get to heaven and they do a blood test on George Floyd and Mike Ashley and James Austin and whoever else, we'll have the same DNA. We'll have Jesus' blood from the same tribe. We might look a little different, but from the same tribe now.
Yeah.
That's part one. So our common heritage in the faith of Jesus Christ. And secondly, he is a fellow person.
Yeah.
And there's a brotherhood of persons. And so including him in my family is just something I love to do all together. As I've said, hospitality is really important to me. And having that brother and sister language to me allows people to sit at the table with me.
Yeah. And that for me is really important. Having, again, I love your ability to say having a seat at the table and then understanding that you create the table, right? That's part of that self-awareness I mentioned on Tuesday, right? It's important to have that self-awareness to know that, like, one, I'm dealing with somebody who is a brother or sister to me. And then even if they disagree with me, even if they are somebody who has an opinion that is flat out just wrong, like ethically and morally wrong, if they have that, at the end of the day, they're still your brother or sister, right? They're still, and understanding that and having that perspective, I think is like, it seems crazy. I think a lot of people would find that like, that's crazy. Like, that's not my brother. That's not my family. You're not, whatever. And a lot of people find it hard to understand.
That's right.
And so, yeah, I think it's important that one, you acknowledge that, like, I create the table, like I'm setting the table, right? So this is my space. And then two is like, you're inviting everyone in and then you're acknowledging them as, this is my brother, this is my sister.
That's right.
For me, it's been this terminology maybe you haven't heard before. It's called Imago Dei. It means image of God. For me, that's been my brother or sister terminology, right? We heard there's this guy named Propaganda, and Mike, I know you've heard of him, but he's a really well-known spoken word artist, and he calls everyone image bearers. Right. So he would go and talk to Derek Chauvin and he would call him an image bearer. He would go to George Floyd and he would call him an image bearer because they were created by God and because the creator of the universe made them and he made them in his own image. By that fact alone, everybody who he sees and who he encounters becomes image bearers, and how you treat them is by definition how you would also treat God. And God talks about that. Like, there's a scripture about that in Matthew where God talks about, hey, like, if you're gonna do something for someone else, you're gonna be treating me that way. So he said, like, hey, why don't you go and feed the homeless? Why don't you put a roof over other people's head? Why don't you visit people when they're sick? Why don't you because if you do those things for those people, you'll also do it for me. By doing it, he makes no distinction. And that was the whole question of, like, which is greater, loving God or loving your neighbor? And Jesus made no distinction. He said it's the same. Like, if you love your neighbor, if you loving other people who also bear your image, your brothers and sisters, you're loving God. And if you say you love God and you worship God, and by definition, you'll also do those very things for other people.
Mhm.
And so having that mindset just as the foundation allowed me, and I know I'm allowed you, Mike, to even enter into those conversations.
Yep.
Which were really hard because there's moments where people are saying stuff that are out of pocket and you're just like, man, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And you want to call them out for it. You want to be like,
Yeah.
yo, you like what you said was dumb. Like y'all was stupid.
Right.
Like you want to say things like that, but understanding, like having the self-awareness to know that if I say things like that, one, all I'm doing is just diminishing their character and their personhood. And I'm treating them the exact same way that systemic racism has been treating me, right?
Yep.
Like I'm less than a person. And so because of that, I know that doesn't actually get us anywhere.
That's right.
So yeah, I don't know. That's just been, what are your thoughts on this concept of image of God and seeing people, and how has that changed your perception or your conversations with people?
That's right. Yes, thanks. That's a major part. As I've told you, James, and others, I teach a class on theology, and that is a major part of my theological framework. It's kind of a big word, but essentially, like one of my starting points is that people inherently have value.
Yeah.
So much value that the God of the universe decided to come and make neighbors out of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Eugene Peterson in the Message translates John 1:14. It says, "The Word became flesh." And what did he do? He moved into the neighborhood. If you look at other translations, it says he came to the world, essentially.
Yeah.
Eugene Peterson really picked on us because he said he moved into the neighborhood. Whose neighborhood? Your neighborhood, my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so as followers of Jesus now, we take on that same incarnation, word becoming flesh, and we're living that out in our neighborhoods. So in modeling Jesus, our neighbors are very important. And who are our neighbors?
Yeah.
Not just the block, but the city and the state.
Yeah.
So it is vital for me to look at people as God looks at them.
Yeah.
And in a way that elevates not only their personhood, but the reality that God has a plan for each one of them.
Yeah.
And they have magnificent abilities and magnificent amounts of potential. And it's my job as a minister, and all of us are to pull out those good things and not those bad things.
Right. Yeah. And that's why we tell you guys, like, you're love without strings. Like, that's why we say things like that. Like, there's no strings attached, that you have inherent value. I love that statement. You have inherent value, meaning that the value that you have as Treehouse kids, the value that you have is, the thing that causes us to love you has nothing to do with how good or bad your behavior was. And this is exactly the reason why we're having this discussion right now, because the argument that people have made about George Floyd was that, well, he has a criminal record, right?
Yep.
So Derek Chauvin ending his life, it's like the statement would be that we shouldn't treat him as we shouldn't treat George Floyd as a hero because he was a bad person. And so right. A bad person essentially died, and bad people should die, right? That's what the statement was, right? And according to what God says about us, and according to and the reason why we do what we do, acknowledging that you are love without strings, is because we're acknowledging that you have inherent value. And when we talked about self-awareness, I said that it requires us to not only acknowledge that you're lovable, capable, worthwhile, but it also requires us to believe that for everyone else, including Derek Chauvin, the officer that killed George Floyd, and as well as George Floyd himself. And so we can't go around and say, okay, he's a good person, he's a bad person. We don't even have that. We don't even have that ability to judge people that way, right? God didn't even give us authority to do that.
Yep.
So as a result, we don't have the capacity to be able to say he's a good person, he's a bad person, he's a good person, he's a bad person. Only thing we could say is this person is made in the image of God, and so inherently they have value, and I'm going to treat them like they have value. And how much value? As much value as God himself, right? How would you talk to God? How would you ask God questions? How would you listen to God? That's exactly how you would treat other people. And that has changed a lot of my conversations. And I know some of you guys are sitting here wondering, and we're approaching the end of our time limit, but I know some of you guys are wondering, well, like, I want to have conversations about this, but every conversation I've had has seemed to just fall short. It seems to just end up in argument. It seems to end up in, people just attacking me, or I just end up attacking this person because I feel like this person just ends up being beneath me or stupid or whatever. And I know you guys are wondering, like, how can I get to this place of having conversations with people that disagree with me, but we still respect and honor and love each other in a really, like, human way.
Right.
And the truth is, you can't without knowing Christ. That is just the truth. You can't value people. You can't see people the way God sees people unless you understand how Christ sees you. Unless you understand the value that Christ has placed on you. And when you understand that value, and you understand, like, he values you so much that he was willing to trade his life for yours. When you realize that, then you're at the space where you're ready to accept that his love is better than anything else. And that will change how you engage in these conversations. So I know we're at the end of time. We're like 5 minutes over. It's like second time in a row we're like 5 minutes over. But if you guys are here and you're wondering, man, how can I have real relationship, real conversations with other people in a way that doesn't tear me down or doesn't tear them down, but again, we can build each other up, and we can all have seats at the table, like Mike said. If you're wondering how we can engage in that, I encourage you to look in the description of this video and click the link to our group afterwards, because our small group afterwards will be a time where we can really discuss and share in that. So if you're wondering, if you're having questions about that, I encourage you to click the link in about 20 seconds, and we'll join in a discussion on how we can engage in life-giving community and having positive and crucial conversations, even with people we disagree with. So, Mike, do you have anything left you want to say, or?
Yeah, thanks. I do. I'm just, again, really grateful. And some of you are tuning in live, and some of you will watch later. I'm just really grateful for you. I think the world of young people, and I know sometimes they get marginalized, and the old folks talk about their day and how awesome things were. I got to tell you, the older I get, the more I realize that there were no awesome days. We can make every one of those days awesome today. Yeah. And so instead of reminiscing about the past, make today great. And so, again, really grateful for you. I think the world of you. Here rooting for you and happy in any way to help you live out your calling or take good next steps for your life.
Yeah, so good. All right, y'all. Just know we love you. We hope to see you guys. Join the group. Join the discussion. And we will see you guys in the next room. If not, we'll see you guys next week. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.